Let's cross over to Uganda now, and the country has sounded a warning against any form of intimidation from South Sudan as the Lamwo border conflict looms on. The spokesperson of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, Lieutenant Paddy Ankunda, told KTN that Uganda is prepared to use force to defend itself against any threats to its territorial integrity. Serwanjja with the details.
Uganda People's Defense Forces have deployed heavily in the northern district of Lamwo, following tension at the border point of Musingo with South Sudan. This follows reports that over 300 South Sudan soldiers had crossed the border point into Uganda over the weekend, stopping the construction of an 86-kilometer road that they claim had entered South Sudan by 7 kilometers. The army spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Paddy Ankunda, told KTN News that the army is armed to resist any form of attacks from South Sudan.
The government has a program. That road must be completed, and nobody, whether civilians or militias from South Sudan, shall be allowed to disrupt that process.
The road in question is actually Bamusingo Road, which is part of the Owinyu-Gulu Road project that was commissioned by President Museveni in February this year. The army has also denied any attempts of crossing into the South Sudan border.
There is nothing like violation of their border, because that border point at Apiriti is very well known. It's the customs point, and we are not interested in these borders anyway.
The construction of the road had been halted since the tension began over the weekend, although the army says that the works have been resumed with protection from the men in uniform.
We have our forces in the areas along the border. We have deployments in Madiope and other areas. Now this project going towards Territorial is very important because it connects both countries, and I'm sure the authorities in South Sudan would be interested in getting this done.
This is not the first time there are diplomatic tensions between the two countries over border conflicts. In August this year, more than 200 armed militias from Magui County in South Sudan entered 9 kilometers into the Ugandan territory at Lokong sub-county in Lamu, claiming it belonged to them. They were, however, flashed out by the UPDF soldiers, leaving one militia dead. Serwanjja, KTN News, Kampala, Uganda.